So I like to tell a story about the time I thought I auditioned for Disney, but I ended up not. And I don't really like talking about this because it's just not an important part of my life, nor did I really know what I was doing. Basically, I was in the car with my sisters Irene and Rose. We had the radio on. It was talking about some sort of casting call for Disney and how it's open to all ages. And so my sister Rose asked, "Oh, are you guys interested? I'm able to call them for you." And I'm like, really? Because at the time I did want to act, only because I wasn't sure of what I wanted to do in the future, and because acting seemed really interesting to me at the time. So she called the number that the advertisement gave out, and it gave her all the information, the venue, the date to meet, where all the kids would like conglomerate and, you know, audition. This was all in 7th grade, and at the time I was taking SHSAT prep, and so the date that I had to go to the venue coincided with my prep, and I had to take a day off. And when I told my mentor that I wanted to take a day off because I had an interview with Disney, she didn't seem that impressed, but whatever. So on that day, we took the subway all the way to some fancy hotel in Manhattan, and immediately my sisters and I saw a bunch of little kids my age and younger than me, and to be honest, I dressed up for the event in my best clothes, even though it was really casual. There was a room full of seats for the kids and the parents to sit at and listen to the leading woman make a speech, and she was like, "Oh, you gotta have talent and passion for acting, this is no joke." And then she played some promotional video about this cruise you have to pay to go on. I started getting a funny feeling about the whole thing, because if this is a free casting call, why are you promoting a cruise or event that we have to pay for in order to go to the next level? Because what you did on the cruise was you had to either choose a category of dancing, singing, acting, or modeling, and if you pass that round, you move on to like actual Disney or something. In this video, there was a kid who passed all the stages and ended up being a guest on this Disney show that I never watched. It's called Crash and Bernstein, and he was only there for like a couple episodes. I forgot how much the cruise costed, but it was like probably $200 to $1,000. So we all got these papers to fill out about which category we wanted. I signed up for modeling and acting and singing and dancing because at the time I just wanted to do everything, and my sister encouraged me. Once we handed in our papers, we had to line up and briefly have an interview with the woman. So my sister was coaching me on what to say and how to answer certain questions, like, "Why do you think you're fit for Disney?" I would have to say something like, "Because you said you wanted something different and I could bring that something different." When it was my turn to get interviewed, she did ask that and I answered like that. Then we were given this paper, like a very short text paper of our lines for this audition that was going to be recorded. My script was this fake commercial for this grape juice. Totally forgot how it went. It was something like, "Oh, well, just grape juice puts a smile on your cheeks." And I was like, okay, so I have to act really fake for this commercial. While Irene got some commercial for like a hair gel, and so these kids were all lined up to act this commercial out in front of a guest star. On the radio it said cool guest stars to this event would include Debbie Ryan, the Sprouse twins, all these relevant people, but it turns out that they instead got Sinjin from Victorious as their guest star, which is still pretty cool. I mean, he was famous, but like he's not even from Disney. And also, did I want to meet him? No, I prefer to have met, you know, Zac Efron or something. So I memorized my lines. Again, Rose coached me on what to do, so I walked up to Sinjin, I shook his hand. I was the only one who shook his hand, and that probably left a good impression on him. And he was like, "Okay, you can start now." And I was like, "Okay, well, just grape juice puts a smile on your cheeks," or something like that. Yeah, I don't remember what happened after that. We just left the venue, and we never paid for the cruise because we knew it was hella expensive and this whole thing was a scam. Because I was so young and impressionable, I thought I could really get into Disney because that was just one of my dreams. But after all that happened, I looked up if it was a scam or not, and a lot of people said it was, and that in order to pass an actual casting call you need an agent first, and like you gotta have headshots, a portfolio, all this stuff, which my casting call didn't ask for. Yeah, that was quite the experience.